What's up? Welcome. So, if you're joining us for the first time, this is the Quick Start webinar brought to you by the Private Money Club. We do this webinar every single Thursday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Why? So we can stay sharp. We practice private money lending best practices, principles, elevator pitches. We talk about how to leverage the Private Money Club platform, whether you're a borrower, whether you're a lender, someone that's looking to make nice rate of return on their money, having it secured by real estate that, when done right, is worth much more, or maybe borrowing all the funds that you need from a person instead of a bank to fund your real estate investing goals. Also known as the borrower. What's up? How's everyone doing? All right, cool. People are logging in here. All right, what's up, Joseph? Good to see you on here. So Joseph is part of you can say hi to the group. Joseph is part of the Private Money Club team. So on these webinars here, I do all the talking, I do the teaching, I'm covering everything. But if you have any questions at all, I got my co-pilot here. Joseph is in the chat box. So he might throw up a link, he might refer you to a person, place, or thing if I ask him to. So he's just here, he's helping out. I'm glad to have him because it's tough. We usually get 100 people or so on these webinars. So lots of times the chat box gets rolling. It's hard for me to keep up. A Private Money Club is a platform where borrowers and lenders can meet. They can start to build relationships. They can do all kinds of cool stuff. And if you are on here and you have a deal, just type me in the chat box or I have a deal. Let's see. Anyone on the call right now, a real estate investor, and they have a deal that needs funding, or maybe you are a real estate investor and you don't necessarily have a deal yet, but you're actively looking for projects and things like that. Just communicate in the chat box. Let's see. All right, Lewis has a deal right now. That's awesome to see. All right, cool. And they're coming in, right? Love it, love it, love it. All right, cool. So let's just, if I had a deal, and I'll cover this a little bit, but I got a deal right now. So before I hopped on the call, I was on the Private Money Club website and I kind of stopped myself and I said, you know what? I'm just going to show the class what I would do. Is that cool? Is it okay if I share with you like real life case studies? Can I get a big oh yeah in the chat box if that's okay? Nothing that I do is like made up. Like I on these calls here, I just try to say, hey, what am I doing in my real estate investing business right now? And what are other people doing? I try to keep it as case study as possible. Try to keep it real. What's up, Chris? Buffalo guy in Arizona. All right, cool. I love it. I love it. Go Bills. All right, so this is what I was doing. So I'm going to share with you later on the webinar here if I had a deal right now or if I had funding and I wanted to put money to work and start having conversations with people to find out where I wanted to lend and things like this, where would I go? I would go to privatemoneyclub.com. That's where I would go. So if you are like, what's that? I'll have Joseph put it in the chat box, privatemoneyclub.com. You guys can go and check it out while we're talking or maybe afterwards or whatever. But either way, you got the link, which is awesome. So this is what I was doing. My wife and I just got this property under contract here. This is us. Hey, who's that? Who's that handsome fella there, right? Noah Harris, Christy Duckett Harris. That's us, right? So this is our profile on Private Money Club. Now, there's a deal section on this platform that if I was a lender, I'd be on this every day, looking around, seeing what's available, seeing what's happening. If I had a deal that needed funding, I would absolutely be posting my deals here, like no brainer. But you got a lot of the right eyes on your project. So this is ours right here. I just posted it. So here's a couple things that I would do. So number one, I would post. Number one, you need a profile. Okay. You need a profile on Private Money Club. Now you can create a free profile on Private Money Club. You can do that. There's a premier membership that includes a bunch of extra bells and whistles and things like this, which we'll talk about later, but I'm a premier member. So this is my deal, right? So I just posted it, got a picture. This is a nice little triplex in Columbia, South Carolina. And I've got all the specs, all the details. So like number one, I'm going to post my deals. Like that's number one. If I had a deal that needed funding, I would post my deal. I want to get as many eyes on the property as possible. And then after I post a deal, I'm going to copy and paste. So I'm going to come in here. You guys can see my screen, right? Like I'm not just like, you can see my screen. Just say in the chat box. I want to make sure I'm not wasting everyone's time here. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm just showing you what I do. So I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to come over to the community section here. Now this is kind of like social media, but for private lending, which I think, Chris calls it like a dating site. for borrowers and lenders for sure, but it's also got like that social network vibe to it, but without all the BS. It's just business, money, whatever, right? So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna go create a new post, and I'm gonna put my title in here, and I'll say new deal just dropped. Check it out. Oh, we used up all the letters. Look at that, Jen Patel. 0 characters left. All right, so I love it. So then I'm gonna come over here, and I'm just gonna copy and paste the description that I already had because I took the time to post it. I'm gonna come over here, and I think you got to add an image. So I'm gonna add the exterior photo of this property here. And let's see. Okay, cool. And then I am not going to disable the comments. I want people to comment. Hey, if you're in Private Money Club, go here to the post I'm about to make and comment on it, right? Let us know you're there. All right. I'm going to hit post. Oh, I got to fill in everything. What do I got to do? Oh, I got to select where I want this. I'm going to go intro myself. Okay. So you got to kind of select the group. I think that's good. I'm going to hit post and then boom, there we go. Right. So the moment that someone logs into Private Money Club, they're going to see this. This is boom right there. Right. So I think if you have deals that need funding, I would be on this every day, refreshing, posting, updating. Right. Now, what's naturally going to happen is, people are cruising here. They're going to see my post, but then they're also going to come down here and see deals. And they're going to see the post. They'll see the deal section here. And if they like it, they're going to click on my profile, which I recommend. They're going to say, hey, who is this crazy person with this great deal that I would love to fund with a 100% track record over the last 12 years with his private money lenders? Oh, it's Noah Harris. What's up? What's up with this guy? And you go to my profile, it talks about my business model. You can see that I know what the heck I'm doing, right? And you can also see, I just realized this. I don't know if you guys know this now. I can go on this section here and you can see my active deals. So I just posted this here. This is the one here. And then my inactive deals that I've used, that I've gotten funding, that I posted on Private Money Club. And once a project gets funded, I hit funded, but it stays there so people can kind of see, which is super cool, right? Yeah, you're welcome in that. Yeah, usually we get it, we usually get into this kind of like midway through and something, but this was on my to-do list. Like this is what I need to do today. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to wait for the webinar and I'll just share what's happening. So I'll come back to this. We'll talk about everything here and how to leverage it and how to get the most out of it. But that's a little sneak peek. Is that good? You guys like this stuff? You guys like this stuff? Let's see. Is this funding to purchase properties or to rehab an existing property to get it ready for renting out? So it could be, so both. So this deal that I just shared right here is a property that we're purchasing. It's a triplex. There's one tenant in it. 2 units are vacant. We're going to come in. We're going to fix and flip the property. We aren't going to sell it. We're going to keep it and we will refinance. So during that time frame, I'm talking about this deal right here. During that time frame, it might be 6 months. It might be 9 months for us to go in there, do what we need to do, make the property beautiful. Now, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're doing, pal. So if the property right now is worth 150, comparable sales in the area that are all rented and renovated are in the 300 to 350 range. So by investing $50,000, we're going to take that $150,000 asset. We'll now have $200,000 in the deal, and we're going to we're going to force the value of the property up, force depreciation to 300, 350. And then we'll go to a 30-year, more traditional lender now that the property is all beautiful and rented, right? See what we'll talk about here on our call is if I were to go to a bank, the bank's going to say, no way, I'm not going to finance this. Like the one unit smells like cappy. The floors are all torn up, right? The siding needs to be replaced. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on the exterior. Traditional banks are going to be like, no, this isn't what we do, right? So that's why we use private money lenders to fund our deals. We use people to fund our deals, right? So any single time that I host these webinars, I teach a class, I'm on the phone with someone, I'm doing my absolute best to make this sound as difficult as possible. I like to talk about the risks. I like to talk about what could go wrong. Don't lend money you're not willing to lose. Don't borrow money if you don't know what the heck you're doing when it comes to real estate. And that's a big part of why Chris Naugle and Stephen Nagy and the founders of Private Money Club ask me to teach this webinar every single Thursday, is just to try to increase the education that's out there. And every single Thursday, we teach best practices, fundamentals, and we talk real estate borrowing, real estate lending, just so we can be better at both, right? So if you're here to educate, here to learn, my goodness, you are in the right spot. I was talking to a good friend of mine last night. His name is Corey Griffin. And many of I think some of you might know my friend Corey. Corey Griffin is a real estate investor out of Savannah, Georgia, and a good friend of mine. And we were talking about private money lending. I had him on as a guest to my accelerator course that I do for Private Money Club. And we were talking about how important education is. And Corey said, "Hey, I have, normally I have braids in my hair." And I asked the young lady who braids my hair, "How many hours of training do you need to be qualified and have the certifications that you have to work on my hair?" And the number was crazy. Do we have any like cosmetology or hair stylists or anything like that that can relate to this that are on this call right now? Think about your profession. How many hours, how much training, how much education do you have to go through to do what it is that you do? Think about that for a minute, right? And he goes, "Noah, what's crazy is that for someone to 1,000 hours," Julie said. Thank you, Julie. So Corey said, "Hey, Noah, what's crazy is that to be a lender, you need 0 hours. You need 0 hours." He goes, "The problem that I see out there, these people, they love the idea of putting money to work, having it secured by real estate, but they don't know where to go, who to lend to, what questions to ask, what to look for in a deal, but they get so caught up in, oh, you can make 15%, 20%, that they just do the deal anyways." And that's the scary part, right? So we're all about, with great power comes great responsibility. I look at the ability as a real estate investor to have conversations with people and to introduce them to the concept of private money lending as that's like a superpower for us as real estate investors, right? But with great power comes great responsibility. So the responsibility of the borrower isn't just to pay back the person. Of course, that's at the top of the list, but it's to be a great real estate investor. So education is key. And lenders, I'm telling you right now, I love private money lending. I've been using private lending almost exclusively for the last 12 years in my real estate investing business. But I'm a big believer in it. But I also see people who don't spend the time to do what we're doing, and they fall flat on their face, right? And in today's world, in any market, we can't afford to lose, right? We want to make sure we're making good deals. Does that make sense? Is it okay if we talk about what could go wrong? Is it okay? If you are on this call right now and your goal is to borrow funding and you want to be a great borrower, here's my recommendation: talk about the risks. Because I promise you, the lenders that you're talking to, they're looking for them. They're trying to poke holes in your plan. So if you can address everything up front, how you have safety nets in place. Well, we have this professional and this professional. We work with licensed business professionals here. We buy properties at a discount. We have a very strict buying criteria. All of those are safety nets. And if you're able to articulate and communicate the things that you do in your real estate investing business to eliminate those as much as possible, you're going to be well on your way to building a great relationship with a new lender potentially, right? Which is awesome. So big announcement that I'm going to make here right now. Big announcement. If you haven't heard, so Private Money Club is founded by an individual. His name's Chris Naugle, right? And many of you know Chris, America's number one money mentor, through the life insurance education and being your own bank education that he provides, wealth webinars on Wednesdays, and all of these things. And just when you think that Chris Naugle has accomplished it all, he goes and does something else. And I don't know if you guys have heard about this. Maybe he's introduced this, but today, I believe it's today, on Amazon, it's now available. Chris Naugle has written, check this out, a children's book. A children's book. I just picked up my copy today. I know we're here for private money and all of these things, but man, I tell you what, big picture, we're here for legacy. I don't know about you guys. I have 3 boys. 2 of them are going to love this book, ages 10 and 8. I just picked it up on Amazon right now before we hopped on our call, and it's called The Companion. And I'm really excited about this. At the end of the day, if I can just raise my kid, real estate's the vehicle, but real estate is the vehicle that allows me to at night be able to pick up this book and read it to my kids before they go to bed. Real estate's the vehicle that allows me to have time to even have these conversations with my children, right? And so this is a really cool book that I'm gonna recommend you guys pick it up. I haven't read it yet, but I've gone through like the Amazon descriptions and read the back of it and things like this. And we really, lots of times as real estate investors and as entrepreneurs, we do our best to set our kids up for success. We have the trusts, we have the estate planning, we have all of this crap. But is anyone actually sitting down and talking about it with them? You'd be surprised how many houses I buy from people whose their parents have passed away and their parents worked so hard. They built this massive real estate portfolio. They set up all of these estate planning things and trusts and all this stuff, but their grown children don't know jack. They don't know anything. And because that person was so busy, that it's like they never took the time to just talk to them about building wealth, creating a legacy, and how to be a decent human being. Right. So this is an amazing book. Check it out. I'm excited for it. You can see the description there, but at its core, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it here. At the core, the companion explores a timeless truth. The things we rely on, our relationships, our resources, our well-being, and even our dreams must be nurtured or they will fade. And so go ahead, go get it, pick it up. Lewis says, I must buy this book. Go get it, Julie. Buy it for your grandkids. Absolutely. It teaches children to care for what sustains them, whether it's relationships, dreams, health, or money. It makes life's most important lessons engaging, emotional, and unforgettable. And it sparks deep conversations between parents and children about responsibility, balance, and the true meaning of strength. And lots of times these things, I just got goosebumps. Lots of times when we're talking about these things with our kids, like how to be a great person, how to be a great friend, how to be a great sibling to their brothers and sisters, that's kind of like more important than the money part. It's like once we get this, then we can get into the money, and I'm really proud to call Chris a friend. I'm really excited for him. I got the link here. Let me see. I think I copied and pasted it. Let me see if I can paste it for you guys. Let me see. Hey, if one of your friends just wrote a book that you think could help the world, if you were me, you'd probably want to share that with the group too, right? Absolutely. So, all right, let me see here. Cool. Let me check it out. Boom. I think that's the link. I think that's the link to Amazon. If someone would click on that and then say, "Yeah, Noah, you got it," that would be awesome. All right, because maybe Joseph can help me out here. But really excited. Chris Naugle, Hannah Kessler co-wrote a book, The Companion. Get it in the hands of your kids. Actually, get it in your hands. Get it in your hands and read it to your kids. And then, talk about it. Hey, what does this mean? What do you think about this? Like, so important today's day and age, just to spend time and educate. Then you can get into the money, right? Then you can get into the money. All right, let's get down to it. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Quick Start webinar. If you're just hopping on, here we go. We've already covered a lot, but let's get into it. So every single week we start on time. We keep it real estate. Participation is absolutely encouraged. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the chat box. I got my man Joseph there. If you need any help with anything, all experience levels are welcome. So I know in Private Money Club, we have some people who they're on their 1000th deal. There are some people who do land development. And then we have people that are just starting out. They're saying, hey, Noah, if I could learn how to buy one rental property a year for the next 5 years, and I didn't have to go to a bank to get the funding to do it, that could absolutely impact my family for generations and generations to come. So it doesn't really matter where you're starting from, brand new experience, it's all good. You are in the right place. If you're just watching for the first time and you want to know a little bit about who you're learning from, my name is Noah Harris. I'm a real estate investor out of Columbia, South Carolina. My company, Revive Homes, is our flipping company. Lots of times, if I'm doing a case study like I did earlier on the call, it'll be with Revive Homes LLC that was established a little over 12 years ago. Our goal as borrowers is the same that I have for every single person on this call. My goal for each and every person on this call is to help create a 100% track record in your borrowing and your lending business. A person can do really well if all the loans that they make earn interest and come back to them, right? A person can do really well if all the loans that they make earn interest and always come back to them. But if a person loses, then they're in trouble, right? I don't want anyone on this call to lose. Is it going to happen? Could it happen? Of course, we're all going to get dinged up here and there. But at the end of the day, if I can teach how to ask better questions, if I can talk about documents that are really important when you're doing these loans and things like this to help keep the borrowers and lenders safe, that's a win. This is relationship based, right? This is relationship based. So if you are here and you are looking for funding, here's my advice to you. We have this beautiful platform. We have this amazing community, thousands of people who all know what private money lending is. Theoretically, half are borrowers, half are lenders, and we're creating this perfect utopia where people can meet, right? That's the idea. That's the idea.
You ever feel like you don't have control of your real estate business or your money? That's right. The big banks and the institutions, they're in control, right? I know you felt that before. Private Money Club puts you back in the driver's seat. As members often tell us, it's a total game changer. Join the community of like-minded lenders and borrowers by going to privatemoneyclub.com and sign up.
But what I will tell you though is that this is relationship based, right? So when I say private money lender, what do you guys think of when you hear the term private money lender? What do you think of when you hear the term private money lender? Let's talk about this real quick. What do you think of? Private money lender. What is it? What's the first thing that pops in your mind? Type it in the chat box. Is this thing on? Deep pockets, Frank says. Deep pockets. Lending without a bank. A person. Okay. All right. I like it. Joseph getting the momentum going. Private funds. Yeah, a local community lender, individual placing their money in real estate, people with money that need a return. Okay, I like it. These are all great answers. And I see a common theme here, and that's people. That's a person, right? So what if most of the time, if as a real estate investor, what I see a lot of is that there's this misconception out there, not in here, you guys get it, but out there, that we have to go to a bank, Wells Fargo, so on and so forth, or we have to go to a hard money lender to fund a real estate deal, a fix and flip, or buy a rental property or whatever, right? And and that's not the case at all. This platform is really opening a lot of eyes and more education. You can go to a person. So many of you said people, and in my eyes, every single person that I meet is a potential private money lender. All of my friends, potential private money lenders. All of my former coworkers, potentially private money lenders. My family, potential private money lenders. My neighbors across the street selling their house. Hey, they make a great private money lender. It's a person. So if you truly believe that you are able to help people by paying them a great rate of return on their money secured by real estate, man, you're going to do great at this, right? You're going to do great at this. And if you're on this call and you're thinking, no, I have cash, I have funding in my IRA, I'm trying to, the stock market, it's crazy. I can't even keep up with everything that's going on in the world. Man, that sounds stressful. People always ask me about the stock market. That sounds stressful. I don't mess with that, right? Cash flow real estate, name of the game, right? Sometimes I think we get so caught up in wanting the tortoise and the hare thing, right? Where like we all want to be rabbits. We want to get to the finish line so fast. But gosh, if a person was making 10, 12, 14% year lending fund, doing deals and funding deals, man, you're helping people, right? You're helping people. So it's a person. And I'll give you an example. Before I hopped on the call here, again, I'm never going to share something that I don't believe in, right? And little case study. This happened at 12:36 my time. So less than an hour ago. I got the triplex. I just showed you, posting it, right? I saw that one of my lenders had commented on a Facebook post that I made about something else. And so I just messaged her, we stay in contact and things like this. I know she has a deal with another private money club member, right? His name's Steve. I said, hey, do you have a loan out with Steve? Because last time we talked, she had. And she said, I do. How much do you need? Oh, that was simple. We're buying a triplex for 145 and repairs are 55, max 200K, right? That's kind of like the loan amount. I don't want to go more. Why would I go more than that? So I always say, and when this is a good learning lesson, whenever I make an opportunity available to lenders, I always let them know the total amount, like the max, like you're not allowed to do more than this. And when I phrase it like that, because what happens is people, if I'm paying someone 10, 12%, they want to put as much money in that as they possibly can because of that high interest rate, if it's available, right? If the money's sitting in a savings account at 3% and I can pay them 12, why the heck would they keep it in the savings? So they're trying to put as much to work as possible. So when I position these loans, I always say, hey, max is 200,000, right? And they might say, oh, dang, I only have 180. That's okay. I can bring cash to the table, or if a person didn't have the extra cash, they could get two loans on the deal, right? But I'm seeing if our preferred people are interested in funding the purchase price, repairs, or both. I kind of cut it off, but she says I can't do that much at this time. And I said, oh, okay, cool. Now, what most people would do is they would just move on. They'd be like, oh, okay, well, hope the fam's good, and let me know if anything changes or whatever, right? But I kind of left it open. I said, okay, cool. If you're interested in maybe just the repair costs, let me know. I have some options. So I'm not really scrambling yet. Closing's in 3 weeks. And then she asked, we could do the repair costs. How long would the hold be? So now she went from saying, I can't do that much, to saying, well, pump the brakes. I've got 55. Can I do that? Right. And this is a person. So just to give you some context around this, she is a real estate agent. So she is a real estate agent who represented me many, many times. I shouldn't say many, 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 because I would say 5 or less. Let's just say 5 or less as an example. And she knows that we use private lenders. So when we buy and sell, she's looking at the closing statements and she sees what I'm paying my lenders. And then one day we were looking at a property. My wife really wanted to buy it. And I was like, all right, well, let's see about the money. So we walked the property. I went out in the driveway. I made a phone call and I said, hey, would you be interested in doing this deal? Da, 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 da. She heard me go through kind of what I went through in a very short phone call. I hung up the phone. I said, okay, great. He's ready. He wants to be our next lender. And she was able to see that with her own eyes. And she was like, man, can I do that? I have funds like, real estate's been great to me these last couple of years. I want to be smart, but I don't necessarily want to buy a rental house. But gosh, how you're paying 10%, you're paying 12%. Can I do that? And that's how she became our lender. So going back to the original point here, guys, this is all about the relationships that you have. Okay. The relationships that you make, the relationships that you build. So I'm going to put this in some context here. So where are my real estate investors at? Real estate investors, where are you at? Just type it in the chat box. I'm a real estate investor, or maybe you're aspiring to be a real estate investor, right? Okay, cool. Chris, thank you. So anyone else you can chime into, right? Real estate investor, I'm a borrower, aspiring. Okay, cool. I love it. Now they're coming in. How many offers do you have to make, Chris, before you hear your first yes? Like, do you have a KPI? Like, do you track how many offers, or just from experience, like how many offers do you typically have to make in order to, have one that meets your specific buying criteria? What does that look like? Because for all my new real estate investors on here, I'll tell you what, if you're making offers on houses and they're all getting accepted, what's the saying? What happened there? We probably paid too much, right? I'm working with someone in the accelerator class. So I teach a coaching class for the Private Money Club, which kind of helps people collapse timeframes, get things done much quicker, get them up and running and things like this. And in that class, we're making sure that we're focusing on building relationships, right? And so Chris says 15 to 25. So I love that. I'm teaching people to be disciplined. So I'm sure, Chris, you have a very specific buying criteria. You have to make sure your numbers make sense and things like this. And so some of my students in that accelerator class were looking at deals and they were running their numbers. And they're like, oh my God, I was going to pay 40 grand more for this property than what you told me to. And as I start actually looking into what the numbers are, I realized I would have lost, right? So what's cool here, guys, is just like Chris and all these other people on here, right? Robert says 15, Mark says 100, right? He under promises and over delivers on mindset wise on what he's got to do for himself. Private money is the same thing. So if I ever meet someone who's like, no, I'm having a hard time getting my deal funded on Private Money Club, or I'm having a hard time getting my deal funded in general, I need Private Money Club. My response is usually, how many people have you talked to? How many relationships have you built that with people that want to be a lender with you, if not now, in the future? And it's usually zero, right? If I stopped at just posting my deal on Private Money Club, I might get 5 or 6 people that message me, but I'm going to share with you how I go above and beyond, because it's all about building those relationships, right? It's all about building those relationships. Just like you make offers on houses, we need to be making offers like on with lenders and talking to people. Does that make sense, guys? What most people's problem is, though, is that they don't have a place. They don't have a spot where they can go and talk private money. And and that's a problem. Like back in the day, I used to have to go to like real estate investor club meetings, or I'd have to practice my elevator pitch on people that really did not want to hear it. And you know, it made me a better borrower. It made me better at explaining it and things like this in the long run. But gosh, nowadays I'm kind of jealous. You guys just have private money club that you can tap into to do that. All right, cool. So here we go. What are your goals? So let's check this out. Let's look at the people, right? Let's look at the people. If you are a real estate investor and you are on this call and you love the idea of putting other people's money to work to fund your real estate deals instead of banks, go ahead and say me in the chat box, or say borrower in the chat box. Me, borrower, real estate investor. Let's see it. Let's see it. All right, cool. I love it. Me. All right. Ding, 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 ding. All right, cool. They're coming in. Right. All right. Using my IBC. I love it. Me, investor and borrower. All right, cool. I love it. So you're in the right place. You're in the right place. Now, on the flip side of this, all right, Frank's a borrower. All right, I love it. Now, watch this, Frank. Here's what's cool. We have like, let's see here. And I know not everybody can talk and chat and do or whatever, but we have right around 50, 55 people, I think, on the call, if I'm not mistaken. If you love the idea of putting your money to work at a nice double-digit rate of return and having those funds secured by real estate, type lender in the chat box. If that excites you, type lender in the chat box. Oh, you guys are so quick. Annette was like typing. She was like ready to go. All right, cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're going to come in, right? Not everyone's going to participate, or maybe some of you are driving or whatever, but you can see right there, 10, 12 people. If I ask one of my real estate investor friends right now who only uses hard money, I said, hey, how many private money lenders do you know? They'd be like, oh, I don't know any, right? Isn't that crazy? So they're just not fishing in the right pond. They're just not around the right campfire like private money club is for people. And you know, that's the exciting part. That's the exciting part. I bought a house on April 1st, so like 2 days ago. And it's $1 million property. So we bought it for 925,000. We used private funding to do it. It was two different lenders. One was for 675, and the other one did the repair cost at 250. $925,000. It has an ARV of like 1.5 million. Right. This is a really big project for us. We're really excited. Big renovation, but it's going to be worth it. Right. So for those of you that are on the call right now and you're like, man, Noah, you live in South Carolina, you invest in manufactured homes and 50,000 and whatever, like that's not my market. Well, I just did one for $1 million, right? So as you start developing conversations with people, it's all about the more conversations that you have and educating people and things like this, right? So it's relationship based. And guess what? The person who funded the majority of that private money loan, I talked to about private money lending probably 5 years ago. And this is our first time doing business together. So you never know how people are growing and what they come into and things like this. You always want to plant good seeds and leave people feeling right. Right. So this is super cool. So we got a bunch of lenders in here. We got a bunch of borrowers. It's just that simple, right? All you got to do is connect. I don't know. We need some extra help here. All right. We need some extra help here. And that's what we talk about on these calls here. If you haven't done so yet, May 8th and 9th, Money Tank event. So we're networking here on the Zoom calls, of course, but to really kind of up the ante and make some good relationships and things, shake hands with people, look them eye to eye, grab a cup of coffee and things like that. Money Tank is where it's at. This is an awesome event going down May 8th and 9th. It's in Dallas, Texas. Is there anyone on here that's purchasing or already purchased a ticket to Money Tank? Jen, are you going to Money Tank? I feel like you said you were going to Dallas. You had a friend there or something like that. So my wife and I will both be there. It's going to be an awesome time, and that's going cool. So if you haven't done so yet, I'm going to ask Joseph, put the information in the chat box there. Money Tank. I got it right here because I didn't want to forget about it. Money Tank event, 2 days, Dallas, Texas, hosted by Chris Naugle and the team. It's going to be an awesome event. I got some photos here. This is the last one that we did. This was a Money Take event in Charlotte. And we actually got to go, the VIP experience, we actually got to go on the racetrack. And the event itself was held where like they do the news conferences before and after the races. This was an awesome event. That's my wife, Christy, there. She was teaching people about mobile and manufactured home investing. You guys, anyone here think there could be some money made in mobile and manufactured homes? Anybody think about investing in mobile or manufactured homes? I tell you what, there's a reason why Warren Buffett's into it. And Christy does an excellent job of teaching this. She also teaches a class for the Private Money Club called the Mobile Home Take Action Challenge, where she truly believes in 4 weeks' time she can help people get up and running if you apply what she's teaching to either owning or lending on a manufactured home deal. What was cool about this, I don't want to get too far off topic, but with the manufactured home price points. So I know there's a lot of lenders on here, and I know you all are at different parts of your life and your journey. Like some people that we come across at PMC, they say, Noah, I just got my life insurance policy funded and I want to put that money to work. And I got like less than 20,000. I don't know if there's anything in Private Money Club for me. And I'll tell them, hey, you could fund repair costs, there's other options, but have you ever thought about a mobile manufactured home deal? Right. And so what's cool in our area, and this seems to be the more that you do this, the more people that you meet who also do this. There's a lot of lenders in Private Money Club who focus on manufactured homes and mobile homes. And so Christy teaches people not just how to flip them, rent them, and profit from them, but also how to lend on them. Because there are some things that are a little bit different, which is cool. So that's what she was talking about when we were in Charlotte at the last Money Tank event, right? Okay, what's wrong with this photo? All right, see if you can point it out. See if you can find it. Let me know if when you see it, you'll see it. All right, when you see it, you'll see it. Type it in the chat box. If you see it, just say I see it. Or you can tell everybody what you see here. Because if you're on the call for the first time, you're gonna be like, I don't see it. But if you're familiar with Private Money Club and the Money Multiplier team, Chris nailed it. Steven Nagy, also known as Snaggy. I did a little graphic design 5 minutes before hopping on the call here. So when we go to Dallas, what's awesome for the Money Tank event, May 8th and 9th, VIP experience, we're actually going to go and do like the whole medieval times event. I've never done this before. I've always wanted to. I think sometimes as an adult, you're like, maybe we could bring the kids but this is something that I'm really looking forward to. So full day of learning, full day of networking, full day of growing financially, personally, and then we're going to have a good time at the medieval it's not a fair. What is it? Medieval times. Yeah. So I'm imagining Stephen Nagy like all decked out in night gear. I'm imagining Chris Naugle maybe on the throne or something like that. But either way, this is gonna be a really good time. So make sure you pick up your tickets. All right. Okay, so here's what I would do. If I'm on this call right now, and if you've been on the call before, like you're a seasoned PMC member, you're a seasoned Quickstart attendee, you've seen this slide before, but I ask you, is there anything that you could do to maybe make a small improvement and just to move the needle in your business a little bit, right? I like on Thursdays because I'm on here, I'm doing the webinars. That's when I like to post in Private Money Club. So if you are someone who's seasoned, my challenge to you is, what do you do? Do you have something that you do on a weekly basis involving Private Money Club that helps get your name out there, that helps you get exposed, get eyes on your projects, on your business? When is the best time to have your next private money lender lined up? Let me ask you guys, when's the best time to have your next private money lender lined up? When should they be lined up? When's the best time? When's the best time? Before. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg. Before, right? Prima said the same thing before. And then on the flip side of that, lenders. When's the best time to have your next borrower lined up, right? Before you're thirsty, right? Before you're thirsty. So even if a person has funds out or has all the funds that they need, what I would recommend doing is continue to cultivate your relationships. Are you going to Private Money Club and posting weekly, messaging people about their deals, setting up appointments to hear about a person's business and hey, you're in Airbnbs, tell me about that. How's it going? What does it look like to work with you? What types of deals, what types of loan amounts are common for your real estate investing business? And just making some connections, making some friends, right? Getting to the Money Tank and meeting people and setting up time to talk to them about their business, or hearing, when we do like our Shark Tank formats and things like this, about people that need funding in person, talking about their deals. So, I think there's something for everyone. Even if you've been on here 57 times, I would still go in there and ask myself, like, if I'm Jennifer Pertel, I know Jennifer, I keep saying her name, but she's always on here. She's a good friend of mine. She does very well in her real estate investing business. Is there something on Jen on your calendar that says I need to hop on Private Money Club and make a post? If there isn't, go and do it, because you don't want to get thirsty, right, Prima? Right, Chris? You want to dig your well beforehand, right? So here's what I would do if I had a deal or if I had funding. Number one, I would create a profile. Now, there's a difference between a free profile and a premier member, such as the number of deals that you can post, some additional coaching and resources that you have access to, some classes and things like this, of course, right? The big thing here too, though, is I would hop on. So for our premier members, every single Monday, there is what's called Money Club Monday. So Stephen Nagy hosts a webinar where people present opportunities. They present deals. And so if you had a deal right now, like I know 7 or 8 of you did, join Private Money Club, create your profile, make sure you're on those webinars, put your deals together, and then be consistent with it. Don't just share once, share 2, 3, 4, however many times until your deal gets funded, because you don't know when the next person is going to be watching, right? So create some consistency. If I was a lender, I would also look into being on Money Club Monday, not just to see the different opportunities, but to introduce myself. Hey, I'm so and so. This is, I love real estate. I'm in the state of Texas. I'm in Dallas. I'm going to Money Tank. I'm looking forward to funding people's deals. Whatever it might look like for you, introduce yourself to the community. Right? Does that make sense, guys? If I have a borrower, then if I am a borrower, I want to make sure I'm posting my deals. If I'm a lender, I want to make sure that I'm looking at opportunities. Right now, here's the thing: if you are in a situation right now, like, let me just ask you guys, be honest, because I know there's different experience levels and things like this. Is there anyone on here that's like, hey, Noah, I'm ready to go. I have my fund set up in my IRA through Horizon Trust or whatever company. I got my IBC policy set up. I'm just nervous because I want to make sure I'm not making any mistakes. Is there anyone that, like, raise your hand if that's you? Like, no, I can relate to that. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm just kind of cautious and things like this. I would hop on the coaching sessions. There's resources inside of Private Money Club to make sure that we're helping people get as educated as possible, right? Nobody wants to admit that they don't know what they're doing. I have never been on a call where everyone's like, oh yeah, seasoned vet. I know exactly what I'm doing, Noah. All right. Okay. All right. I always help people that raise their hand and say, yeah, I could use some. I always kind of go a little above and beyond for folks that ask for it, but we'll keep it simple this time around. I also teach a class called the Accelerator course for borrowers and for lenders. So the Accelerator course, we meet twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays for 4 weeks. And whether you're a borrower or you're a lender, you can hop on each session, and I give everything that I do in my real estate investing business. I share with folks on how I build relationships with lenders, how I package my presentations, the documents that I would want if I was a lender on a deal that help keep me safe, things like this. Everything A to Z, everything that I know, I give. Last night we wrapped up a call, and I don't want this to scare you, but I hope I say it and it kind of over delivers. We were on that phone call for 2.5 hours with 10 people. We were reviewing properties, reviewing deals, and practicing what we were learning. So that's called the Accelerator course. If anyone is interested in doing something like this, you can click on the link there, Joseph, or you can text Joseph. He's got his phone number there. Joseph is a part of the PMC team. And so anytime I talk about a class, a link, a webinar, or something that might be happening, he can post a link there like he just did. You can connect with him and he can help you enroll into that course. What's the value in something like that? I always have people that ask, like, no, what does it cost to take the Accelerator course? It's a couple $1,000. Here's what I would tell you. And I know they got promo codes and all these things. What does it cost to be a premier member of Private Money Club? I'm not sure. A couple, maybe $1,500. I don't know what they charge nowadays. But here's what I will tell you. Joseph can help you out with those questions. On April 1st, I went to a closing. And prior to signing my paperwork, I was talking to the real estate attorney. And the real estate attorney said, man, you did really well on this deal. I said, what do you mean? Like, we haven't even started it yet. It's a really big renovation. I hope you're right. He goes, no, I mean on the loan. And I said, oh, yeah, yeah. We pay in my business. This is what I do, guys. Like, I pay 10%. So I pay a 10% annualized rate of return. I feel like my deals are very secure. My deals have lots of equity in them. I feel like by doing this for 12 years, I've earned the right to not have to pay 30%. By the way, if someone's paying 20 or 30%, you really got to look at the deal, because in my mind, I'm always like, how is someone making money doing that? But that's neither here nor there. He said, the attorney said to me, they said, hey, you did really well on this loan. I just did a closing before you came in here, and this real estate investor was using a company called, and I'm not gonna say the name of the company, but it's a local company to where I live in Columbia, South Carolina. That's a hard money lending company. And he said they are paying 16%, 16%, and the fees were right around $14,000. Now, this is on a deal that I don't remember the exact price point or the loan amount, but I believe it was, from what I recall, it was right around $400,000. So a $400,000 loan, 16% interest, 14,000, 14,000 in fees, right? Broker fees, admin fees, anything you could possibly imagine, right? They got three different names for the same thing. I just did a loan for 925,000. I'm paying 10% annualized interest. So I'm saving 6% on almost $1 million. You guys do the math there. It's crazy, right? And all in addition, all of the fees, it's like, holy crap. So it's so I don't want to use the word sad, but it like blows my mind that I'm like, hey, learn how to do private money, learn how to do real estate and present it the right way, learn how to build these relationships, get in private money club, and the amount of potential savings is huge. If I did a deal like that, I'd be saving tens of thousands of dollars every deal. And if that person's planning on doing 3 or 4 deals a year, that you could see how that would add up, right? It's I don't know. You know what I said to the person, to the attorney, when they said 16%, I said, I hope that person wasn't new. I really hope that that real estate investor is experienced, but what my gut is telling me that they aren't. And I just hate that. Right now, on the flip side, I know there's lenders on here that are like, 16% sounds great. Sign me up. 14,000 and points and fees coming in my pocket, right directly into my IRA, tax free. Noah, you're talking. That's my love language. All right. Katie says, yep. So here's what's fun. Here's what you got to do. You got to decide, Katie. You got to decide. Here's the beautiful thing. With great power comes great responsibility. So when you join Private Money Club and you have money that you want to put to work, I'm trying to pull it up here. You got money that you want to put to work. Great, put it to work, but you got to make sure, hey, you are your own underwriter as a lender, right? Unless you hire a company to do your underwriting for you. You are making the decision. So hopefully you have paperwork, and hopefully you have a process through this. And this is a lot of like what I help folks do in the accelerator program is I say, hey, here's what I would ask. Here's what I would do. Things like this, right? If a person, let me ask you guys a question. If you're interviewing someone and that person, let's say you're a lender, okay, all my lenders, let's say you're a lender, you're interviewing people, and it's not a no, but it's like, dang, I wish this was a little bit more dialed in. Anytime that something isn't perfect in your business of how you want to operate as a lender, anytime something isn't perfect, what happens to the interest rate? Is it going up or down? If you're the lender and you're trying to say, okay, is it worth my time to work with this person, and they're not that prepared, it's going up, right? It's going up, as it should, right? As it should. If I was a lender and I was looking at deals, if there was anything that just made it a little bit more risky, anything that just made it a little bit more, interest rates going up, right? That's the beauty of negotiations, right? So if someone is brand new, and if you've never worked with them, Julie, they are brand new. They're brand new to you, right? You don't know this person. They're brand new to you. So the first time around, yeah, it might be 14%. It might be 15%, right? If a person is dialed in and they are extremely organized, what happens to the interest rate? Are you willing to come down because it might seem a little bit more, I hate using the word safe, but a little bit more organized? The track record is a little bit lengthier and things like this, right? So then the interest rate might go a little bit down. So what's cool is you as borrowers and you as lenders get to really kind of go back and forth and figure out what's going to work best for both parties, right? Is the collateral phenomenal, right? Maybe you come down a little bit. When Christy and I fixed and flipped a house in Lake Lure, North Carolina, one of our lenders actually really wanted to fund the deal because she liked Lake Lure, North Carolina. So we actually were like talking about lowering in like a lower interest rate because she saw additional value in that, because guess what? If we didn't pay her, she gets the property essentially, right? So she saw that as okay, I wouldn't mind doing this. All right. So anyways, here's some, anytime I teach, I try to share these slides here so we can educate as much as possible. I got 6 minutes left, you guys. Joseph, if you haven't done, someone just messaged me, I believe, about money tank tickets. So if, can you put the link in there one more time? Or if you have a promo code to money tank, they were asking about promo codes. Do you want them to text you? Do you want to put the promo codes in the chat? How do you help people get to Dallas, Texas? What's the best thing? I'll let you answer that in the chat box there. All right. Andrew, I have a client who's looking for a private money loan for 2 deals. One is 5 million, the other is 10.6. I'm a broker, but my affiliate lender's caps at 5 million. Any sources that someone knows of for higher price deals? There you go. There you go. How is Myrtle Beach? Myrtle Beach? Oh, Myrtle Beach is fun, man. Spring break this time of year. Look out. Too much fun. All right. So if I was presenting deals, this is, and I was showing, a lender was inquiring, right? So if, as soon as someone hits me up about my triplex that I posted on Private Money Club, I'm prepared to send them all of this information. I have all of this information in a Google Drive folder. I send it over to them. We can talk about the deal. But before I just send out information, and this is important, I like to build relationships. So if someone says, hey, no, I'm interested in the triplex, I say, great, let's hop on a call. And so I'm going to spend 30 minutes like getting to know this person, right? Whether they do this deal or a deal in the future, I'm going to start building the relationship with them before I even would present, more details about the deal. But when I present the details about the deal, it's going to have all of these things. Okay. Anytime that we are working with lenders, and lenders, you're working with borrowers, real estate attorneys need to be involved. I want to make that very clear. All right. Real estate attorneys need to be involved. Title companies, if you use them for closings in your state, they need to be involved. We're never wiring funds directly to a person. We always are wiring funds to the attorney, the title company, and we should be lending to LLCs or some sort of entity, not an individual, for a lot of different reasons. I don't have time to cover that here today. But these are things that help keep us safe. Every single time we lend money, every single time we borrow money, we're going to be doing these things. Okay. So I know there's going to be people in this chat, and I don't want to freak you out. Like, some of you are going to be like, dang, I didn't do that. On the next one, make sure you're doing these things. Okay. Like, I'm not here to scare anybody or whatever, but I meet a lot of people that say, hey, this person said that they would fund that they would pay me 15%, 16%, but I didn't have a mortgage. Okay. Well, that means you didn't have collateral. So that's different. That's not what we're teaching here. What I'm teaching here is how to lend money and have it secured by something. Okay. If you just get a promissory note, it's not really worth anything. If you ask a lot of attorneys, they're going to be like, yeah, right? Mortgage, deed of trust. This is what you need, right? This is what we need in our business. So as a borrower, I pride myself on providing a mortgage or deed of trust, depending on the state where we're investing in, and the property as collateral. What makes private money lending great? Well, you're lending this much and it's secured by real estate that's worth this much, right? While you make nice interest. If the person doesn't pay, cool, you get the property. But if you just have a promissory note and the person doesn't pay, what steps do you take? It's a different route, right? And you don't want to have to go that way. So mortgage, deed of trust, promissory note outlines the terms of the loan, right? That's the contract. Personal guarantee. We always do personal guarantees. I don't know why someone wouldn't do a personal guarantee. If you're taking my accelerator class, or you plan on taking the accelerator class, you're going to see these. We dive into this. You're going to get sick of hearing me say it 1,000 times. Lenders title policy. So not only do we do title searches and things like that on the properties before acquiring them or refinancing, whatever, we also take out an insurance policy for our lenders, right? We're doing the same things that the banks would want, right? Copy of a settlement statement. If you are in a first position or a second position, are you okay with that? Do you know the differences? Do you know what each of those mean? right? And these are the things that keep a person safe. Is your mortgage being recorded? So we don't necessarily want to just have a mortgage and then just put it in our desk drawer. You know, what your lien position is based off of date that things are recorded. So as soon as you close, man, that attorney, this is why we use attorneys and title companies and don't do this stuff ourselves, is going to go down to the courthouse, or they're going to do it electronically if you want it done right away for an additional fee, and they're going to record it, right? Done deal. Don't have to worry about it. Is there equity in the deal? Have you talked about how you're going to be updated on the progress of the property? What does that look like? And at the end of the day, too, I always tell people, what's your gut telling you, right? What is your gut telling you? If something doesn't add up, then it's okay to say no, right? There's thousands of people in Private Money Club. There's thousands of people out there that would love to make a nice double-digit rate of return, have it secured by real estate, and are tired of having to watch Squawk Box in the morning to figure out what the hell's going on in the world, right? And oh, tariffs this, tariffs that. Who cares? Who cares if my money is secured by real estate and real estate's cash flowing and I'm getting an interest check every month? I don't care about what's happening. What's happening out there. When things are crazy out there, the better it is in Private Money Club. So if you're having a hard time getting loans and this and that, I'm telling you, you got to go a different route. Stop hitting your head against the wall, trying to make it work. You got to start building relationships with people that are seeking to understand what your deal is, what it looks like, and how you can work together on things, right? All right, I'm gonna put this last slide up. Now, this is called the make a move slide. Make a move, make a move. All right, let me see. Where is this at? So the idea here on with Private Money Club is we always want to make sure that we are taking action. This is the quick start webinar. This is not the kick the can down the road and don't do anything. I'll see you next Thursday at 1 webinar, right? This is not to just eat my lunch, eat my turkey sandwich, and listen to Noah Harris talk about private money webinar. It's the quick start webinar. So we want to make sure that you're taking action. I'm going to pull this up here, and you're gaining momentum. Maybe action for you is just tweaking your profile, going in, making a post in Private Money Club. But if you're hopping on here for the very first time, here's what I would say. Can you guys see my screen? Just give me a big, oh yeah. I want to make sure that you're looking at what I'm looking at. Big, oh yeah, if you can see the make a move. Okay, cool. So number one, create your profile. If you're brand new, create a profile. You can create a profile for free. You can be a Premier member right out of the gate and take advantages of all the things that Premier membership offers. If you have a deal right now and it needs funding, I'll never guarantee that you're going to get funding just because you're a Private Money Club member. But what I will say is that if you're taking advantage of all the things that they offer, you're going to get a lot of eyes on the prize. You're going to have a lot of people looking at you, your business, your opportunity that a person may not otherwise have. That is 100% fact. Okay. But you got to got to get it posted. You got to share it. And I would highly recommend Premier members share on Money Club Mondays so you can get in front of the right people, right? Get in front of the people that are looking for deals. We have something called a blueprint. So if you are someone who needs a little extra help, you want to make sure you're doing things the right way. You want to make sure that, you're using things to its fullest potential. Joseph can help you schedule what's called a blueprint call with one of our success team members. And they'll walk you through how to set up your profile, how to do all of these things, how to find the tools, resources. They're all in Private Money Club. So I would recommend scheduling a blueprint call. If you are a Premier member and you haven't taken our certification courses yet, there's two or three certification courses within Private Money Club. With your membership, you can take those classes. When you complete those classes, you have little badges next to your name so people can look and see, oh, okay, this person stands out because they've taken the time to educate themselves a little bit more in the borrowing, lending, contract law, and things of this nature, right? So there's some exercises for you there. Our next accelerator course is going to be May, I believe, 12th. So we just completed the March 10th class. May 12th, we kick off a new group. If you like what you learned on this call here, and you realize, hey, there is a lot to learn here. I think I would like to expedite the process, collapse the time frame, and spend some time with Noah twice a week for 4 weeks, really diving into this to make sure I'm doing things the right way, to the best of my abilities, asking better questions, making better decisions. Accelerator class might be for you. And if you haven't done so yet, Money Tank event coming up, Dallas, Texas, May 8th and 9th. All right. And one last thing, I know Chris would really appreciate this. he is trying to, get the word out. If everybody buys the book on the same day and things like this, it really helps push it to the top. And I think this is an awesome investment, not just for you, but for your family, right? To help build your legacy right there. Maybe you open it up, you make a nice little note for your kids or your grandkids, and give them the companion book, Chris Naugle's latest book, children's book, and bring it to Money Tank with you. Have him sign it, right? That'd be kind of cool. Just thought of that, but I'm definitely going to be doing that. All right, cool. Thank you so much, Joseph. Hit us up with any questions, or if you need help in PMC. Yeah, there's the link that you can use to book a blueprint call. Private Money Club link is there. We have, I know people are logging off because we're wrapping up, 46 people on the call right now. I am a big believer that all 46 people on the call should be Private Money Club members by the end of the day. What are you waiting for? Go there right now, create your profile, add your picture, make sure you do a good job filling it out. Don't just create it and then leave it blank, right? Things like this. Make sure that you're doing things the right way so that if someone does click on your profile, you look like a real person, right? It's just like a dating site. You're not going to click on a profile that, there's no picture, or, it's like one sentence or something like that, right? Take some time and do it right, right? Any affiliate codes, Joseph? Promo codes? Any promo codes? Should they text you for the promo codes? I'm getting a lot of promo code questions. Okay, so put your number in there. You can text Joseph. Joseph, we should just post it, but I don't know. Maybe the promo code it's a big secret. I don't know. So I'm just gonna put this here. This is Joseph's. This is our number here. Oops, I tried to copy and paste it, but you can see it there. Joseph's cell phone number. I think the office uses that number to text and do 716-317-4445. You can text Joseph. He'll send you over some promo codes. Thank you, Joseph, and hook you guys up. Can't wait to see you in Dallas. This is going to be a fun time. Pick up Chris's book. If you haven't enrolled in the accelerator class, I think they should make it mandatory. I don't just say that because I teach it, but I'm telling you what, like anyone that's taken the class, I just asked the last group. We just wrapped up last night, and I said thumbs up if you feel way more empowered, way more confident in the decisions that you're making, whether you're borrowing or lending after taking this class. And everybody was boom, 2 thumbs up. So totally worth it. This has been an awesome call. We do this call every Thursday at 1 o'clock. So I can't wait to see you on the next one. Hopefully we got some wins to celebrate, right? All right. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate you. All right. Have a great day, everyone. All right. Bye.